As far as true crime stories go, few captivate like the saga of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, a young woman from Missouri who persuaded Gypsy has been released, and she'll be speaking exclusively to This Morning to reveal what life is like after lockup. Gypsy Rose, thank you for joining us on This Morning. What has life been like since your release in December?
Life has been a whirlwind. For the last 5 months, I've gone through a lot of changes in my everyday life, in my love life, home life. So the last 5 months have been quite an adjustment.
You know my story. Now let's see what I do with my life.
These last 5 months since Gypsy's release have been documented in a new series, Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, set to broadcast from next week.
It showcases the emotions that I went through. It showcases the hardships, the joys, the little bit of everything, because people are getting to read how I've been doing online, right? But they're getting little bits and pieces of everything, and there's room for misunderstandings. With our show, people will be able to actually be a little fly on the wall and get to be as if they were in the room with me on a daily basis. And they'll be able to make their own assumptions of what all happened in these last 5 months instead of just reading here and there about it.
After your release, you've found a newfound fame. You're huge on TikTok. You're going to red carpet events. You've got your own show. You're hanging out with the Kardashians. Do you think it's right that you've taken your newfound fame so enthusiastically?
I wouldn't say enthusiastically. I think that this was sort of put on me before I even got out of prison. I think my story had reached a lot of people. And so I came out into society not really expecting the level of fame that was around me. And it's like, sharing my story was a very selfless thing that I feel like I'm doing. And there was never any intentions of wanting the fame aspect of it. As for the Kardashians, that was to talk about prison reform. So again, another selfless act that was not for any attention, but to highlight what prisoners go through on a daily basis. She and I are similar in the ways of labels get put on her, labels get put on me. And so to sort of see the woman behind the labels, I was actually surprised that she's so down to earth and relatable.
How are you finding the fame?
I try and shy away from it. Sometimes, on a daily, I'm kind of like, I just want to be normal. And I'm finding that, my life is not normal. And finding that little bit of normal in my everyday life is a challenge. And I treasure that.
What would you say to anybody that says, you should never in a million years be getting this level of fame? You should never be hanging out with the Kardashians, and you certainly shouldn't be getting your own show. What would you say to any of those people?
This was not a choice. This was something that was out of my control. What I chose to do is share my story and set the record straight going forward.
You went through the most horrific abuse, but why did you not expose your mum's lies to the police? Why did you take it as far as what you did?
Honestly, I didn't know the extent of the abuse myself. Some things were very obvious, like the physical abuse, but there was other things in the medical abuse side of it that if it wasn't very visual, like my mother said I had cancer. You can't see cancer. And my mother was telling people, myself and others that I was on cancer medication. So there was things like those little things that I didn't even know until upon arrest after the crime.
Have you got any regrets?
Oh yeah, I have lots of regrets, lots of things that I would change. Obviously the big one, that goes without saying, but that's on my conscience. I have to live with that on a daily basis. Yes, I did my time. I did 8.5 years, but that was a prison sentence. The emotional and mental regret that I have to live with goes for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Goodness me, what an extraordinary interview and what an extraordinary story as well. You can find out more about Gypsy's story in a documentary, Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup, which is going to start next Monday on the 10th of June, 9 p.m. on the Crime and Investigation channel.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning. For all of that, we're meeting Gareth Jones to share his shocking story. Over the course of 9 months, Gareth was subjected to physical, emotional and financial abuse by his girlfriend, Sarah Rigby.
Earlier this month, she pleaded guilty to controlling and coercive behaviour, and she was given a 20-month sentence, suspended for 2 years. Gareth joins us now to share his story. Gareth, good morning to you. Thank you for coming in. It's a very difficult thing to have to relive this. It was a while ago for you to go through first time round, and I'm sure you've been able to piece back your life in terms of taking control of it personally. But we want to go back, because I know that's really important you share this story for lots of people who are out there. Tell us about when you first met Sarah, what that relationship was like.
Well, obviously we met firstly online, and I mean, to begin with, you know, everything is just as you would expect, I think, a normal relationship to go. You know, you just get to know each other, what your likes, your dislikes, just general in terms of, you know, a general dating relationship, and you go on a couple of dates and everything seems to be, you know, just general to begin with, and just as if you were getting to know somebody, just as I suppose the online dating world is nowadays. It was very kind of overpowering, and when I look back at it now, I think, you know, they call it love bombing.
Yes.
So it was kind of very kind of affectionate, a lot of affection towards me, and you kind of think, you know, oh, how can this person, you know, that really is, oh, these things are going to work, you know, and I think, yeah.
Was it quite overwhelming, the amount of attention, the amount of affection that she was showering you with?
Yeah, definitely.
Not something you'd experienced previously?
No. I think it was because of that kind of overpowering side of things that you kind of get sucked into it all more and think, you know, wow, things are going to work out here for the long run, because it's so unbelievable, and so that overpowering side of love, I think, to begin.
And everybody wants it as well. You want things to work out. So when, for you, did you first kind of feel a bit of a red flag? Was there a catalyst moment where you were like, actually, this relationship feels a bit different, not quite right?
Well, we had a kind of argument around the end of the summer, just a general argument where thought, you know, okay, if things are not going to work out, they're not going to work out. So started then chatting to, you know, went back online, started chatting to other people again, other girls, and then had a message to come back over. And then one morning, a message had pinged up from a girl on the phone, and she kicked me out of the house in my underwear.
So you'd in your eyes, your Sarah relationship had ended. You decided that wasn't going to work. You'd gone back onto the dating apps. Sarah then connected you again, contacted you and said, "Look, come back, let's try again." You'd gone back. Unbeknownst to you, the apps were still there, but you were just sort of, you know, there was no intent there, and then a message pops up. Yeah,
and then obviously, just obviously kicked me out in my underwear, and I'm left outside.
Right.
So I kind of thought, right, okay, well, maybe this is just it. And then I get a message a couple of days later from her saying, look, you know, maybe I made a mistake. Let's try and sort things out. And then obviously back from there, things were fine again for the next few months.
So after she did that, Gareth, what made you go back again? What was it? Was it because you actually thought this could work, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think because when, and I suppose as I've learned now, is that people kind of look at these vulnerabilities in people, you know, and because I think at the time I wanted to make the relationship work, and because I felt, you know, that we did have things in common, that it could work.
So then you decided to move in quite quickly. You're living together then. When did it stop being irate about a message and throwing you out of the house in your underwear to the more coercive control, and what sort of things was she making you do?
So when I moved in, trying about the end of October, November time, it was, I wasn't allowed a key. I had to pay back rent, because she said, well, look, you've spent a few months here now after I moved out of my own property, so you've now got to pay me back rent and pay me rent going forwards. Then it became slowly the control of the finances. It became...
So just explain what you mean, control of the finances.
So she basically said, now you're living with me, you're the man, you are the earner, so it's your duty to give me money and for me to have control over that money.
So all of your finances?
So all of my finances, obviously not being given a key towards the house. I then was started slowly to get isolated from friends and family. There was obviously some physical abuse that came into things then as well.
How would that manifest itself? When would that happen?
So if she was having a bad day, or things weren't going her way, then she would kind of take it out on me. So it was, things like not being able to sleep with the covers on, sleep on the floor with no duvet, with the windows open as kind of a punishment. So if things weren't going as she thought they would, then it was basically a retaliation onto me. Obviously, there was things like not being able to use the toilet in the house. So
she wouldn't let you use the toilet in the house?
No.
What was her explanation?
Her explanation was that she felt that males were not the cleanest. So, and it was kind of, well, you're living with me now, so these are the rules, and this is how you're going to abide by if you want to stay with me.
At this point, because you just said before that she isolated you from your friends and from your family and kind of manipulated the situation, what was going through their minds? They must have been really quite worried about you.
Well, I think definitely my parents saw it and said it. I mean, I had to make up a kind of a code with my mum.
Yeah.
So if she wasn't around, because if I ever had to use, because I had to obviously give up my phone as well, I could only make phone call conversations if she was in the room. I had to, whenever I was asked to give my phone, I had to have my phone demanded to be passed up. So it was difficult, but I think the thing is you feel, I mean, although people could say from the outside, when you look at it from the inside, and I think the other thing is I was always told, this is just a phase. This we'll get over these things. It's just little blips. I've got other things that, are maybe not going so well for me at the moment.
This is what she would say. This was her explanation.
Justification.
But Gareth, you are a very sort of sane human being, that you work professionally, you've got friends and family. You're not being allowed to use the toilet. You're being forced to sleep on the floor if she's decided that you've done something wrong without covers. You weren't allowed to shower in the home either. She was making you pay rent, pay back rent, pay forward rent. She took control of all your finances. At what point did you not think this is not okay? That not being able to use the toilet, not being, being restricted in so many ways? I think
when it started escalating, so I think between about the period of November to maybe January time, and it really started, it was very subtle to begin with and then became very accelerated. Yeah. But she was always told, look, and this is what people say to me, look, Gareth, why didn't you just leave there and then? But I was always told, well, if you try to leave, I will go to the police and I will say that you tried to, assault me or even worse. And it was, who do you think the police are going to believe? Are they going to believe, little old me or big old you? And I think, and that is the stigmatism that is out there in society, and why male, it shows that it can and does happen to men. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the moment where you went, okay, enough is enough, I am leaving?
I think it was because I'd arranged, I knew she had an appointment to go to, and I'd arranged to meet my kind of mum in secret to go for a coffee for her. Yeah. And I knew that I had to be back at the property at a certain time, because obviously I was also being made to miss meetings and being kicked out of the house periodically and being made to go to the library and other places or walk the streets to work. My mum had seen a message pop up on my phone where she'd said, had I taken a packet of crisps from the house? And I said, well, I just wanted to have a snack when I was out working. And basically I had a message back that said a load of expletives and derogatory terms and abuse, and you're definitely not eating again tonight, even though I could only hardly eat a salad or anything like that anyway. And I think my mum just broke down in tears, and I thought, I can't put, I think that was the realisation, is I can't put my family through this. And the next day I made a phone call to Mankind, to a male domestic abuse charity, and explained to them, and they came back and said, yeah, these are all definite warning signs here of what's going on with domestic abuse, and you need to try and get out. And I knew that if I didn't do something drastic to get out when she was least expecting it, as I just said, I would be probably had up for for worse when it was totally not the case.
Yeah, because she held that fear over you as well. So you found the courage to get out, to report this, and then it all went to court, and then she pled guilty. What was that experience being in court and seeing her have to listen to what she'd done and then pleading guilty as well, Gail?
I think, I mean, there was a side point because obviously she turned up to court with, you know, Harrods bag that I was forced to buy when I was in Harrods, some very expensive clothes that I was forced to buy or coerced into buying on a weekend away at London. And she turned up to court, and I think it was trying to still have that control and that manipulation. And I thought, no, I'm not going to have this. You know, I'm going to stand up on the stand and go through the evidence and, you know, to see her plead guilty, I mean, I'm pleased in a way because it vindicates and it shows, you know, and the amount of text messages and emails and things, everything that I had, the evidence to document it, because originally she tried to flip this all onto me. And, you know, and the police even said they were believing that they thought it might have been me. Gosh. But to when you go that and then...
Fortunately, you had the evidence to prove that wasn't the case.
To prove it was not the case completely.
And how do you feel about... So she got 20 months... sentence, but it's been suspended for 2 years, so it's not custodial unless she does something within those 2 years, then she will go to jail. A 5-year restraining order on, so she can't contact you as well. Do you feel like there's been any sort of justice served there?
I mean, I guess to a degree, but, and I mean, this, you know, for, like coming on the show this morning, the overwhelming kind of public message that's come out there. I mean, like I said, I did not certainly expect it would reach as far as what it has. And I think from looking at the way the public has come back that, yeah, I do agree, maybe if it was a man, maybe the outcome would have been different. And I think that's what it seems to be coming back a lot from, and that public opinion and that said, you know, that stigma out there of that this, you know, can and does happen to men. So, yeah, I mean, pleased that obviously that she did plead guilty and it proves that these things can happen to males. But on the other side, I think the sentence doesn't really fit the crime.
Did she ever show any remorse?
No. I mean, afterwards, she contacted my place of work. She put pressure on my workplace and, you know, fractured a lot of relationships I had in work to try and rebuild things, you know. And also just, I think it goes to show with the court, you know, actually when it got into court, wearing clothes, handbag, you know, accessories, things that she'd coerced me into buying. I think it just goes to prove that I don't think she'll ever, I'm not sure, you know.
She'll ever show any remorse.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning, and thank you for being brave and really kind of shining a light on this as well. Thank you.
No, thank you. I mean, and like I said, if I can help one other male out there and prove that this can and does happen and to allow them to maybe to get out of a bad place, then this is all, you know, worthwhile doing it. So 100%. Thank you very much.
Have you found love again, Gareth? Have you started dating?
No, not yet, no. I think,
easy, one step at a time.
But I think a time will come, but it's shown, you know, it's taken me a long time and I've had to go through therapy and everything, but I've got back to a stage now where my life is in a good place and hopefully I can move forward from here. So thank you very much.
I think you'd be a catch for anybody out there. You seem like a lovely person. Thank you for coming in and sharing your story. Good luck.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Now, over the years, beauty pageants have often been criticised for being outdated or accused of setting unrealistic beauty standards.
Well, it doesn't get more unrealistic than this. The world's first ever AI beauty pageant, made up entirely of computer-generated women, or characters that are women, will take place later this month.
But before we discuss that further, here's a quick guide to what AI actually is. AI stands for artificial intelligence and is a fast-growing technology that enables computers to problem-solve and simulate human intelligence. It collects a massive amount of data, more data than a human could ever process, and responds based on what it learns. AI is already used in things like our phones and social media, so it can recommend things that we like. It can be used to write essays, drive cars, and even help doctors with medical treatments. It's so popular that around 1 in 6 UK organisations now embrace AI technology.
I genuinely believe that technologies like AI will bring a transformation as far-reaching as the Industrial Revolution, the coming of electricity, or the birth of the internet. But like those waves, it also brings new dangers and new fears.
AI does raise concerns, with people worried about it replacing human jobs, invading our privacy, or spreading misinformation. Despite this, AI is becoming a bigger part of our lives as the technology behind it becomes more and more advanced.
It's not going anywhere, is it?
No, nowhere at all.
The 10 finalists for Miss AI have been announced today. So one of the judges, Sally Ann Fawcett, joins us now alongside technology reporter Will Guyatt to discuss how we feel about this. Sally Ann, first of all, let's start with you because you've been a competitor within beauty pageants.
Indeed, in the 80s, yeah.
In the 80s, you've been a judge in beauty pageants as well. So
I've judged Miss Great Britain.
So you're passionate about the history of beauty pageants. This seems like a step in another direction, but one you felt compelled to be a part of.
Well, when the FanView World AI Creator Awards approached me and said you would be the perfect judge, I mean, I too had doubt. I thought, well, what is this? But when I looked into it more, there are so many perceptions of AI women as being hypersexualised, impossibly beautiful. And we thought if we could choose an ambassador, a role model that women and young girls could look up to and gain some really powerful messages from, I think that's a good thing because AI is not going to go away, as you said. And to have that platform, I think is probably a very good thing. Use it positively.
So can I just, sorry, Kat,
Yeah,
can I just call you up? Because these are, I think, the finalists we've got here. I know you've got notes on the shortlist.
Yeah.
Hypersexualised is one thing, but you said impossibly beautiful. Every single one of those characters that has been created digitally is impossibly beautiful.
They are all beautiful.
Like,
and
they're all literally impossibly beautiful.
But
they have no flaws, they have no wrinkles, there's one with a few freckles, but they are all impossibly beautiful.
In their own individual way.
in their own individual way.
Entirely my point and concern. Now, I find it very interesting that there's going to be this, this pageant, but young people already are struggling to work out what's real and what's not on the internet. Now, these will be clearly flagged, but if these are using generative AI techniques, they are trained on all kinds of hundreds and thousands and millions of images from magazines, probably including those ones that are airbrushed beyond your wildest dreams. So in my mind, you're starting from an unrealistic place. Now, I think AI is here to stay. I think there is a huge conversation to have about this. But for me, I don't feel this is really a long-term solution. I feel it's it's got attention because it's got the word AI in it.
But I think I judge modern-day beauty pageants, and it's not just about the physical beauty. It's about the inner beauty. It's about the message that they're portraying. It's about the whole person. And obviously, these are not real women, but they all convey a certain message that I think people can relate to. That women can relate to.
So, can we talk about that? The top left-hand character there. Do you know which one that is?
Kenza.
That's Kenza. Will you tell us a little bit about Kenza?
She's got a following of 190,000. And I know it's amazing, isn't it? And she promotes women's rights in Morocco, where she was created, and female empowerment. And I think that, sometimes people can relate to a character like this. Do you remember in the 70s when they had cartoon characters doing road safety and safety awareness and things like that? They really related to them.
There's an interesting point there, Will, isn't there? That actually Kenza, in an environment where she's promoting empowering women in Morocco and the Middle East, that all sounds very admirable. She's
also commercially advertising sun cream as well. So there is money going to the hands of whoever is in control of Kenza, and that's the influencer. Why get somebody from Made in Essex when you can create your own talent that's going to answer the phone, it's going to always post the pictures on time? So there is an element, and I'm excited about the element of where everyday users pick this up and go, hey, let's have a go with the technology and play with it. But I'm also a bit more cynical, and I know that there'll be ad agencies and companies creating these unrealistic women to sell more product, to get more ad deals. That's all influencers, well, not all the influencers use, but many influencers use social media for commercial purposes. This is purely cutting out the celebrity.
Because also, Will, you're saying that by having these made-up women as role models, this could be problematic.
I'm probably not the person to talk about that, but I have a young daughter.
Yeah.
And my young daughter already says, oh, I want to look like that princess, or I want to look like this, or I want to look like that. And my prime concern is if we're already having problems with young people struggling with their understanding and perception of what beauty is, if you're then creating it through artificial intelligence and other technology. And for me, the thing about artificial intelligence is it's so wide a field. It's everything from life-saving cancer treatment through to shoving John Lennon back into another Beatles song. And we need to get a bit more dialogue and discussion about how it's going to impact people, because for every fear that it's going to steal your job, my dad has just been diagnosed with cancer this morning. And I know that previously, for this technology, there'll be better technology for detection of cancer for people like my dad. And my partner, who has a rare kind of breast cancer, she got it a year ago. 6 months after that, they were able to detect that cancer years earlier because of new advances in AI. So there's lots to be said, and I'm worried that if we do too many gimmicky things with AI, everybody will turn off. And this morning I'm going to go, oh no, we've done 2 AI stories this month. We're not interested in talking about this really important advance in science.
But I mean, to be fair, I understand what you say, and I think you've got to make a very good point. But this isn't gimmicky. There are AI women all over the internet, all over social media, and it's not just about the looks; it's about the message that they give. When we're judging,
it starts with the looks, though, Sally-Ann, does it not?
But it doesn't.
I mean, there is not one of those AI-created characters there isn't what you would class as unbelievably beautiful.
I think they're not. Some of them are not stereotypically beautiful. You know, we think of AI women as being these, impossibly hypersexualised with tiny waists and what have you, but you have to have a really good... It's like in pageants. You're going to have a good-looking winner, but they have to be an all-round person. They have to have a message.
But they're not real people. There's somebody in a studio who's ticked the 5 boxes to, they save the ocean. They want to talk about the environment. They've been given... The AI hasn't decided what this personality is. This has been created.
But the creators decided. It's their reflection.
But we then get into a whole different argument over what's real and what's not. And I know that the organisers behind this, and it's fantastic, are going to put on a music awards, do all sorts of really cool things. But imagine if you're a jobbing musician, you're not going to be able to get any appearances anymore because Elvis is suddenly recording a song about the weather in Bristol. It's just like, this is the way this technology is going to go if we don't have a better control and a better conversation about it.
Can I ask Sally-Ann, why is there no men? Why is it all female-generated characters?
Apparently, there were some men. What you mean, the actual contestants?
There
were some men in the shortlist, and actually in the pipeline, there's going to be a male equivalent. There's going to be a male one as well. So everyone's going to be represented. But what I'd like to say is that quite a few of these contestants are created by all-female teams. They're not just men in their bedrooms with the curtains drawn, that sort of thing. So it's.
That's a really bad stereotype, by the way.
There is that concern. Lily's been in touch saying, I can appreciate the use of AI models in countries where it's too dangerous for women to speak up, but the beauty factor really distresses me. How am I supposed to hear an ideal message when the beauty element adheres to old-fashioned ideas of what women should look like? Stephen says this is fast, this AI. It's not a good look for young women and girls. It's just going to lead to more teens feeling not good enough. Ellie says... There's so many real-life examples of diverse women that young girls can look up to. There's literally no need to create fantastical fake versions that caricature their achievements.
But they are being created regardless of this pageant or not. That is the way of the world, And if they can give some support and some comfort and some good messages to young girls for them to follow, I don't think that's a bad thing, to be honest with you. They could be following a lot worse.
It is a fascinating subject, the subject of AI particularly. Will, I'm with you. You want to make sure that you can concentrate on all those bits as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.
Amazing stuff. Congratulations, Sydney.
Thank you so much.
I imagine it probably still feels a little surreal.
Not over it.
No.
It hasn't sunk in. What is my life?
Oh, it's so exciting. Do you remember anything about that moment when they said, because we were talking this morning, they take it down from 11. Like, it's a big moment on the show. I was watching it last night.
That was hideous.
Do you remember?
That was the most scariest thing ever. I was just shaking.
Yeah.
When we all was. Me and Alex were just looking at each other and was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. It's like torture.
But we lost one act at a time.
I know.
And then at the very end, it got to the 2 of you. Do you remember anything about that moment at all?
Not really. Not really. I just remember just shutting my eyes and then just then just punch in the air. Like I'd, you know, scored a try at a rugby match. I just couldn't believe my life.
It was an extraordinary show. I think Simon described it as the best Britain's Got Talent final ever.
Oh my God.
Honestly, sitting at home and watching every single one of the acts that got through to the final was just brilliant and completely compelling.
They were amazing. And the best people as well. I've had so much fun. We have had a cracking laugh, seriously, and they are so good. Because I was last, I was like, no, why am I last? I was like, I've got to sit through it. So I was pacing.
Were you watching it, or were you trying to take yourself away from all of that?
I was watching it. I was clapping. I went in to watch Innocent. Absolutely amazing. Made me sob. Like, to get my makeup sorted out, I was like, how am I going to go on now? It was so good. Everyone was amazing.
How are the nans doing as well? Are they basking in the glory slightly? I'm imagining that they're loving it.
Oh, my God, they're so proud.
Of course.
They are so proud. I'm so happy that they've been on this journey with me.
Yeah.
How lucky am I to say that?
You know, they'll turn around and say, how lucky are they to have you as their grandkids. When it came to choosing the song for the final, though, I mean, in terms of choosing that song, making sure that was the song you went for, did you have other ones that you were toying with?
It's so difficult because all my efforts went into My Way to try and make that the way that it was, and because we created it, and then really lucky got through to the final, and then you have 3 days to whip up a song.
Yes.
And BGT helped me, and when they said that version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, I was like, I can't do that, because that's Lauren Ulred's version, and she's my idol. Like, I was like, please, I was like, do not get me to sing this song. And then obviously you put your own kiss on it and your own way. And Lauren was so supportive. I got a video from Lauren and I sobbed.
Oh my days.
I couldn't. This is a ride that I don't want to get off of. Seriously, I'm so thrilled with my life right now. I can't believe it.
And it's just the beginning. Like, this is where the journey starts. Like, have you thought about the Royal Variety performance and performing for the King and?
That's amazing. I just want to shake. I just can't believe it. I can't wait. I can't wait, and I'm just so thankful that everyone sees something in me.
Oh, and then
It's
some.
amazing.
And do you know when rehearsals or planning for the Royal Variety begins?
I know nothing.
You know nothing.
Don't know anything.
You're still in a bit of a daze.
Yeah.
What about other stuff, though, since you've started this, Sydney? Have you been... Because I know your ultimate goal was always to be in the West End.
Yep.
You've come close. You've done some professional shows along the way here and there, but you've been working as a receptionist. But the chance to do it full-time, have you had any interest from any West End producers or any agents saying, do you know what?
Yep, I've had some interest from some really good agencies, and then it's just picking which one's right for you. But I think I'm hell-bent on an agency, just sorting things out, which is so exciting. And the people that are on their books, I just look at this page and I'm like, am I worthy enough to be on this page of these people? But these people that I've grew up watching, which
Inspired
is...
to be alongside.
Yeah. It's miracle.
Yeah.
And I know that, you know, that's the dream and that's the goal. That's what you want to do. But £250,000.
Oh, by the way,
well.
is it in the bank account yet? Have you checked? Did you go to the cash point last night and just put your card in to see? No. That's the first thing I would have done. Where's the money? Come on.
I still can't. It's sort of like it's not even about the money, because this is just amazing. But
well, you haven't seen it in your bank account yet.
No, you sort of can't believe it.
What have you got? Have you got an idea in what you might? What's the first thing you're going to spend some of the money on?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Not a clue. I loved my singing coach on BGT, Annabelle Williams. She was amazing and got me through that. And I said to her, I was like, I can now afford you once a week. So I said that to her.
So the first thing is booking a load of lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. She's made me, in like 2 months, a better singer than I did when I went to college for 3 years. Yeah. Do you know, like, she's just amazing and I just love her.
How did you celebrate last night?
Weatherspoons.
You went to you found the closest spoons you could find.
Yes, we needed a pint and we needed it now.
And a cheap pint at that as well.
Absolutely.
You couldn't have gone anywhere more exclusive, but was that the closest pub to the theatre?
Yeah.
Cold and wet.
I love Weatherspoons.
Yeah, who doesn't love a spoon?
Absolutely. It was
There's
amazing.
a reason why they're so popular.
Yeah.
So what happens now, do you know?
Not a clue. And that's the exciting bit about it. And I'm so ready to just throw myself into whatever opportunities there for me that'll have me.
Well, all we've got to say is buckle up, because we think you've got very big things coming your way.
I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, we can't wait.
Have you handed in your notice at the gym yet?
My manager messaged me this morning and was like, oh, I guess I should put your shifts on the rota for other people to get cover. Oh, bless her. I was supposed to go back into work on Tuesday, but I was like, probably, if that's all right.
Yeah, revel in the moment.
If you needed.
Of course,
Well, look, soak up every single moment of it. You've not been home yet. You're going home after this.
Yes.
So you catch up with the rest of the family and all your friends as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be a real celebration.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on.
Our pleasure.
Well done.
Thank you for keeping us entertained. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Thanks, Sydney.
Oh, hello. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload tons of new content every single day. So hit the subscribe button, like all the videos, and don't miss out. We'll see you in the morning.
Earlier this week, we discussed a heartwarming moment between Rylan and a fan named Ewan with Alzheimer's, which captured the internet, if not the nation's attention. Take a look at this.
Tell us about your relationship with Rylan, your mate.
What do you want to know?
Anything. When did you last see him?
Actually, he was in our house not so long ago.
Anyway, he said he couldn't get hold of you. He just sent me that message to show you.
It's your mate Rylan.
Shall I send it to you?
I hope you're well. Sorry I ain't seen you for a little while, but I hope you're good, and I look forward to seeing you really, really soon. Lots of love, and we'll grab a beer.
See you again soon.
Well, as we continue our Defying Dementia campaign, we're joined now by Ewan's daughter, Julia, alongside Shan Welby, who has a personal connection to this topic, with her father also battling the disease. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us. I know this is such a lovely story. I mean, it's a sad story, but a lovely story at the same time. So your dad, Julia, he does think he's best mates with our Rylan, doesn't he?
He does. He always talks about Rylan. He's got a few, but Rylan's the favourite. And he just will say things like, oh, Rylan's a good old mate of mine, I can get hold of him, this kind of thing. It's kind of a random link. I guess it's from, seeing him on TV or, newspapers and that sort of thing. And he also thinks Harry Styles and Fred from First Dates is his friend.
He's got good company.
Yeah.
He's keeping it classy. He's keeping it A-list. We like that.
Exactly, yes.
So when did his symptoms first start to develop, and how quick was that?
I think I started noticing it about 10 years ago, and then he was diagnosed 8 years ago. Just through, forgetting names and just getting very confused with things.
So that would have been late 60s, because he's 79 now, isn't he?
Yes, he is, yeah. And sort of the last few years, it's progressed quite quickly.
What's the kind of stuff you started noticing quite early?
Just, if you'd ask him to do something, he'd get confused, very difficult to hold a conversation. He'd... Just basic tasks, really, he struggles with now. And it's really challenging because my mum's his full-time carer now, pretty much, and he can't really do anything on his own. The last few years it's progressed quite a bit.
Yeah, are you a comedian as well, Julia?
I am.
Yeah. So you go round, and I suppose sometimes you try and find the comedy in things.
Exactly.
You try and deal with things, don't you? It's like a protection, really.
Because I do that as sort of a job. I found that you can find humour in anything, really, and I sort of, in life, kind of try and make lols out of lemons. And I think in something like this, which is really serious and challenging, if I can bring some light and humour to it, my dad's still got a sense of humour, even though he's lost a lot of other things. So it's just something that we connect on.
And so you filmed a video of your dad saying that he thought that Rylan was his best mate. And then you popped that online.
I put it on my stories, tagged Rylan, and I saw that Rylan reshared it. And then I just reached out and said, hi, my dad loves you. Any chance you'd say hi? And then he very kindly sent that lovely video over. So that's sort of how that all came about. Yeah. So thanks, Rylan.
Yeah, nice.
How nice is Rylan?
What I love is the fact your dad was like, yeah, of course he's my mate. So, the rest of us were like, isn't that a lovely moment? Your dad thought, well, he's my friend, so of course he's going to send me a message. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, it's a little thumbs up as well, you're right, mate.
Yeah, so sweet.
And has he got any other mates? So is Rylan Fred?
So he thinks that he taught Fred from First Dates how to swim. I'm not sure where that sort of confusion comes in, but we always just go along with it, because I think at the beginning we'd kind of maybe say like, oh, and I think that just confuses them more, if you kind of correct them. So I always say not to correct people, really.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. I think that there is this whole thing of, at the beginning, because especially when you don't realise they've got dementia or Alzheimer's yet, you do start correcting them, and then it gets more and more confusing. So when I saw that video, I totally related to my dad, because I wouldn't correct him. He tells me all sorts of things that aren't true. I know that I bought him a jacket. He'll tell me he got it in Paris somewhere, and I just go, oh, did you?
Oh,
you know, and you just go along with it, because then the conversation can carry on, can't it?
Otherwise it's be very still.
Does that... Yeah, but on a practical level, the conversation carry on. But in terms of how, like, your fathers see the world, does that then... Do you think that then affirms they're like, oh, OK, no, I'm doing good. I'm feeling, like, pretty good about the world that I'm living in now, as opposed to if you're constantly correcting, do you see that sort of irritation?
Oh, definitely, yeah. They would get very frustrated and, you know, they try and sort of... when they can't pinpoint what they're trying to say, I can see that he gets very frustrated. So I just think just go along with it. Exactly like you said, keeps the energy flowing. And...
Yeah, I think there could be the odd thing you might pick them up on if he doesn't feel too... And then sometimes I go, oh, yes, Dad, you said that. And he'll go, oh, I did, didn't I? And that's OK, I think. I think it's a mixture of that nice balance so they don't feel embarrassed. I think there's a lot of shame, isn't there? Because there are moments when they're really aware that they're A, repeating themselves or B, not making sense. And it's a bit of pride that you don't want them to lose.
Yeah.
So you sort of keep that going, and then normally the conversation moves on anyway, and then you're like, everyone feels involved, don't they?
100%.
How is your dad, Shan? Is he all right?
He's doing so well, thanks. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's weird, isn't it? Because when you find out they get dementia, it's normally a lot later than probably when it started. And we were just saying, you know, we were chatting away, saying that we get frustrated with our dads before we knew that they had Alzheimer's or dementia, because they would just do silly things or you'd ask them to do a simple task that you thought, you know, oh, Dad, do you mind getting this from the shops or whatever? And they'd just totally forget. And then you start realising, oh, I reckon he had it a lot longer. You know, my dad only got diagnosed sort of after COVID, really.
Right.
So it was late.
I mean, you know, both your approaches just seem so kind of like fulfilling and life-affirming. So what advice would you give to people that are just watching us who might have just had that diagnosis in their family?
Well, we find that music really, really helps. It's something that triggers my dad really positively. So we do lots of dancing together, and I think anything that's sort of familiar to them, you know, from the past, really helps. And just like you said, just going along with things, trying to keep the energy light, and also just to give support to the full-time carers because it's really challenging.
Sure. And his dog is. How does his dog help him? Because I know that you think like Fred and Royland are his best mates, but really his dog's his best mate.
The dog's the best mate. Yeah, his dog Stevie, he absolutely adores him. So he still takes him for little walks and takes him to the pub and that sort of thing, and that's really lovely.
Well, Julia, we've actually got a little message from Royland for you. We hope your dad's watching.
No, it's started. You can't
stop. Here it is.
Hi, Jules. It's Rylan. I hope you're well. I just wanted to say thank you for your message the other day. When I saw that message, it was just one of those that I couldn't scroll past. So, sending that little video to your dad and seeing how happy it made him made me very happy. I didn't realise it was going to be such a big thing like this, but yeah, I couldn't skip that message. I want to send all my love to you and your dad and your family, and I hope he holds me to that. We will go for a beer at some point when he's feeling up to it. So I'm sorry I couldn't be there today, but I look forward to meeting you all at some point. Sending lots of love as always.
Oh,
so nice. And the thing is, what you don't know is Ryan now will become a friend of your dad.
Yeah.
You'll be like, you'll get to the point where like, is he coming around again?
I love it. As long as I can join for the beer, let's sort it out.
Julia, Shan, thanks for sharing your stories, because that would have helped so many people. And then you and I hope you're watching. Little message from Royland for you there. So yeah, thank you. Thank you very much,
guys.
Now, it's estimated that in the UK, more than half of us develop a heart condition in our lifetime.
Whilst keeping active can reduce your risk, anyone can find themselves with a heart problem and in need of life-saving assistance.
Yeah, as former professional footballers Graham Souness and Glenn Hoddle never expected their hearts to let them down, but that's exactly what happened, and they're here now to share their stories with us. Morning to both of you.
Morning. Morning. So good to see you.
I mean, I'm excited that you two are on the sofa.
Legends.
Did you two play against each other that often?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Is that why you're sitting quite far apart?
Let me get my bruises out. I'll just show you my bruises. Let me tell you, there's a guy coming on later
that broke 7 of his ribs. I tried many times to break his ribs. I never achieved that.
But you two are so iconic. Like, so this week I went to go and see Boys from the Black stuff, at the National Theatre, and you get a mention because you're the youth.
I starred in it for 15 seconds.
You did,
Yeah.
I remember it.
Shall I just go through some of the things that they've done? Graham, let's start with you. You captain Liverpool FC, made 176 league appearances, won 5 First Division titles, 3 European Cup trophies, and you captain your national team of Scotland. Amazing. Glenn? You made 490 appearances with Tottenham Hotspurs, where you won back-to-back FA Cup titles in 1981, 1982, and went on to represent England 53 times, including 2 World Cups, and would cap your England career at teams manager between 1996 and 1999. Wow. What careers?
What careers? But also, you keep in great shape after you retire, and yet we are here talking about your hearts. So, Graham, let's start with you, because I never forget when I heard you had a bypass, because you were so young, and it was the first time we'd really heard about a fit sportsman having heart issues.
I was diagnosed with having 3 arteries that were severely blocked. I'm Scottish. Celtic people unfortunately suffer from coronary artery disease more than any other, certainly in Britain, anyone else. It was a shock to me.
So was this running in the family history?
Yeah, I had 2 uncles died in their 30s. My father had the operation when he was 72. But it was still a shock at 38. You know, I'm 30, I was manager of Liverpool. I was doing everything the players were doing, except playing on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
I actually had the bug of, when I finished playing, I couldn't stay out of a gym. You know, I was going in the gym sometimes three times a day, if not 3, certainly twice a day.
Yeah.
So for me to be diagnosed with that was a shock. And this is a really scary part. For anyone watching this who may run marathons, who play squash or paddle tennis or are really, really fit, go to the gym every day, there could be something going on in your body that you need to get looked at. Family history is a big indicator. High blood pressure, cholesterol levels, they're things you must get checked out. I mean, you have a young lady working here who I spoke to her 2 days about what we're going to say today on what we're going to talk about. Her father runs marathons. He's been diagnosed with a dangerous level of the wrong cholesterol. So you've got to get it checked out, even if you think you're super fit.
Did you feel any when you were?
No,
you didn't know symptoms
no
at all?
signs.
Nothing.
So you just went to the doctor to get a checkup because you knew it was in the.
I was struggling to sleep.
Yeah.
Went for ECG. Nothing to worry about. They said there's a couple of signals that are maybe whatever it might be, something you've got going on in your life. And then I went for an ECG on a treadmill.
Yeah.
And I think it's called the Bruce Protocol. It's 21 minutes. I got up to about 17 minutes, 18 minutes, which no one does unless you're super, super fit. He said, yeah, there's some signals, but the only other thing you could do is have an angiogram with going at the groin. But if it was me, I wouldn't bother. So a month went by, I decided to go for it. And I was diagnosed with having 3 arteries that were blocked and needed operating on.
Glenn, your story is like almost totally different because you're into retirement, keeping fit, and out of nowhere you have cardiac arrest. And cardiac is, like you were just saying in the break, very different to having a heart attack.
I didn't know that at the time, to be honest. I thought a heart attack was a heart attack, but a cardiac arrest is almost like your electrics failing, and a heart attack is your plumbing, if you like. That's what the surgeon told me, to simplify it. But again, like Graham, I had no idea. I think a cardiac arrest is, it doesn't tap you on the shoulder and say, look, I'm coming, I'm coming. I didn't feel anything. So it could happen to anyone here on this floor. I was actually in the BT studios when it happened. I was very, very lucky because you have to, with a cardiac arrest, you have to be there within 3 minutes. If not, doing CPR. If not, you're in big, big trouble. You know, every minute that goes by, you're going to lose 10% of your life. And if it's not done quickly... I mean, the defibrillators are very, very important. Yes, they are. But the CPR is what's needed instantly, and that's what I got from Simon, who's going to join us later.
Yes, let's talk about Simon, because you would not be here if it wasn't for this man. Simon, coming in, because he's a sound engineer, and he was actually working the day that we were there. I think you were doing... Weren't you? It was your birthday, first of all.
It was my birthday, so, as I say, what a gift this man gave me. Oh. What a gift on my birthday.
You weren't supposed to be working, were you?
To save me life. I wasn't meant to be working. I was meant to be with my kids and my grandchildren. having a little party, you know, on that day.
Yeah.
And last minute, we changed the date. They asked me to go in on the Saturday for some reason. And if my kids had said, no, we can't do it, Dad, we changed the date. We did it on the Friday instead of the Saturday, and I was actually where Simon was.
Simon, you're a familiar face here at ITV. So you were working as a sound engineer then. The miracle for me is you weren't in the catering tent, which is like if you're a sound engineer.
There's usually cameras. There's usually cameras.
As soon as you go on telly, you're like, you guys did that right. So tell us what you remember from that day. What were you doing?
I mean, I can remember the day vividly, exactly as it happened. We'd just done a live programme. Glenn was one of the guests. Glenn was playing football on the studio floor with Robbie Savage.
As you do.
As you do. We came off air at 12:30. I walked out the sound control room onto the studio floor. Glenn was still kicking a football around with Robbie. Went to kick the football, fell straight back, went into cardiac arrest. 5 minutes earlier, that would have been live on TV.
Do you know that straight away when you saw it because you're trained? Did you know what?
Robbie shouted for help. I ran over to help and quickly realised Glenn was seriously unwell. Did the usual checks. Glenn wasn't breathing. He had no pulse. And I rolled him onto his back, started doing CPR, shouted for an ambulance, a defib.
Wow, well done.
And then London Air Ambulance.
By that time, I'm out. I've collapsed and unconscious. The next thing I knew, all this work that Simon did on me, I woke up in the hospital later that night.
Where did you learn how to do CPR, Simon?
So at the time, I was actually a volunteer special constable for Thames Valley Police. So every year we have to do first aid training. And I'd only done my refresher course about 2 months before Glenn had his cardiac arrest.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's one thing to know how to do CPR. It's another to step up and go, right, this is it now. We have to do it. Because every minute counts, doesn't it?
Every minute matters, absolutely. And I don't think people should be afraid of doing CPR because, as we've said many times, if someone's having a cardiac arrest, you're not going to make them any worse.
Yeah, that's true.
And like Graham said, you broke 7 ribs, didn't you?
I broke 7 of
I've tried to
Glenn's
do that many times. I never got near them.
Actually, they're nearly healed up now.
It's just about, you know, taking action.
Yeah.
And if you talk to the ambulance service, they will talk you through how to do CPR.
This is a campaign we're involved in with the British Heart Foundation. The aim is to get 270,000 people to learn how to do CPR. Already we're at 35,000. That's after a month. So anyone watching this, please learn to do it. You can imagine the scenario. Don't imagine the scenario that you're maybe with a family member and they go down and you don't know what to do. And that time that you're hesitating, that not every minute counts, every second counts.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
You know, his story about getting into him and fiercely going after him with pressure and breaking his ribs, you know, he was dead. He ain't going to hurt him anymore. He was dead. So every second, it's not, we talk about every minute, but every second counts. And you can learn to do this in 15 minutes. Go to Google British Heart Foundation Reviver, and that'll take you through the process. All you need is a cushion to practice on.
Yeah.
And just listen to it carefully. And within 15 minutes, you could be in a position that further down the road, you could possibly save someone's life. It's so important.
There's 30,000 out of hospital cardiac arrests every single year, and currently only 1 in 10 survive. So having early CPR, yes, it's the chain of survival: CPR, defib, ambulance service, hospital. The hospital can't do anything if the patient doesn't make it there.
Yeah. I feel like this should be learnt in schools.
Well, it is, yeah. There was we did a campaign soon after I came out of hospital. It was already on its way, but now it has been passed. And I think schools, because kids remember, don't they? It goes in and stays in.
Definitely.
They might not need it the year after they leave school, but in my word, at some stage, they might be able to. And you save someone's life.
And the British Heart Foundation are pushing this forward with the campaign at Wembley. David Gillen was there, Tom Lockyer, Glenn, Graham. It's being supported by Sky Bet. They've donated a lot of money. I think the donation so far is like 385,000, which will go towards research. So it's really, really important that everybody learns CPR.
So the British Heart Foundation's Every Minute Matters campaign, you want to train 270,000 people CPR over the next 12 months, right?
There's 5 people have an out-of-hospital cardiac arrest. 5 people every 90 minutes. That's a football match. So when you're watching a football match from the start to the finish, there's going to be 5 people who fall over and they're literally dead unless someone gets on.
And it's a half time of 15 minutes where it take you to learn to train.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So that's all we've done it all around football.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Thank you for joining us. We're so appreciative. And also, we've got the This Morning app. If anyone wants to learn how to train, we've got our doctors
all
actually going through,
there,
through that as well.
British Heart Foundation, Reviver. Please do it.
15 minutes.
Hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. Now listen, we upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out.
and we'll see you in the morning.
And Sam and Nia are joining us now live from Texas. Good morning to you
Morning.
both. Thank you, because I think it's about 5 o'clock in the morning out there, so thank you for joining us so early. You two, you've been together since your early 20s. You are very popular on YouTube. You've got over 2.5 million subscribers. You know, people love you two. You are like the fairy tale couple until, Sam, you were caught on this website for people that want affairs. How long were you on the website for, Sam? And did you come clean because you knew it was going to come out, or would you think you would have always come clean?
I was on the site for maybe a month, but no, I did not have any plans to come clean. In fact, there was a lot more to the story. If the breach didn't happen, no, this would not be out.
Okay.
Or if it was, it would be another way.
So that's good. So do you think in many ways, therefore, this saved your relationship? Because if you hadn't have come out, then presumably something would have happened that would have, you know, finished your marriage and you'd be over.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely gave us a version of our marriage I never thought was possible. That's like so much better than what we had before.
So all this scandal has made you two a lot stronger.
Yes,
Definitely.
because a lot more than just the Ashley Madison scandal came out. In fact, that was the least of it. And this was, how I see it, as the Lord taking the small thing that I had done, exposing it to everybody because I wasn't going to expose it to the most important person, which was my wife. And then that was the beginning of me confessing a lot of other things I had done behind her back. And it set me free from all these secrets that I had been holding for so long. And I was able to expose it all to Nia, trust the Lord would have our backs afterwards. And he walked us through it all together. And here we are today. Much better marriage than we ever had.
Nia, when you first heard, what was your initial reaction? And then how did you begin to kind of put those pieces together in terms of how you're going to deal with it?
I mean, well, when I first heard of the Ashley Madison hack, I was really shocked, super angry and just embarrassed, just a number of things. But, you know, he was pretty adamant that that was the only thing he had hidden from me. And so I was really quickly ready to forgive him and just have his back and move forward together. But then once other things came out and he confessed other things to me, that took a lot more work. That was an ongoing process of just trying to decide, what do I even want? What is expected of me? You know, as someone who believes in Jesus, what does that even mean for me as a human, not even including Sam? And just really had to kind of go on a search for what it was I needed to do and wanted to do. It was a lot.
So when you say a lot, and was it multiple affairs then that Sam was having?
Yes, multiple emotional affairs and a few different physical things, you know.
Okay, and how did I'm sorry, because it seems so intrusive, but I mean, you're on this show, and how did your friends and family react? Because it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy. My oldest brother was keeping our family text updated on all the things Ashley Madison, on the impact team, the hackers, and what they were threatening. And he was like basically counting down the days and saying, you know, will the impact team actually follow through on their threats and expose all these people, all these cheaters? And I'm just reading these texts from my brother in the group. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be one of these people. My brother's going to be shocked. And he was. I had to call him and told him that I was in that dump, and he was absolutely shocked. It actually took me quite a while for me to convince him that what I was saying wasn't a joke.
Okay.
Well, listen.
Yeah, and for me, it was like...
Sorry, Nia, go
Sorry.
ahead. Sorry, Nia, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just, you know, it's totally different because my family and friends found out, obviously, like, kind of with the public, because it was just, you know, the dump happened and then everybody knew about it. And so it was pretty shocking for everyone.
Well, listen, mistakes were made, but obviously you guys have patched up and you got it together in a better place now. Sam, what were the first initial steps? How did you go about winning trust and proving to Nia that, you know, you could be trusted and you know you are the right person for her to spend the rest of her life with?
it first started with the confessions and exposing to her all the struggles that I'd had all my life that I'd actually wanted to express to her from the very beginning of our marriage. But I never felt I was able to do it. So it started with the confessions, and it started with knowing that I had no right to try to leave this marriage, to give up on, the division I'd caused between us. And all I knew to do was just make myself completely available to her, continually express my love to her, and continue to just open my heart to her in communication day after day after day, answering any questions she might have, and setting very strong boundaries to make her feel safe during that period of time. It was a long, difficult ride. It wasn't done perfectly, and I also had brothers in Christ all around me helping me do this, because I definitely could have done this on my own.
Sam, if Ashley Madison had not been revealed, where do you think you two would be now?
Well, I believe in the providence of the Lord, and I think we'd still be sitting in the same spot. Maybe not on the news, but I think we'd still be walking in freedom together from those secrets. I had a very close relationship with the Lord, but I was on my YouTube channel confessing that I was a Christian, and of course I was, but I was also holding the secrets in, and God is very clear, he will not be mocked. And I'm over here, showing what a Christian life looks like, yet I'm hiding my deepest struggles. And that ate away at me for the past several years, which is one of the reasons I got on the documentary. But I think we'd still be sitting here in freedom.
Well, Sam, you have learnt the hard way, and you've written a book, Public Scandals, Secret Vows and Restored Heart. So do you hope that, your story can actually save other marriages?
Yes. The book is actually called Sam and Nia Live in Truth, but you want to answer it?
I definitely think that if someone is sitting right now where I was sitting 9 years ago, I wish that I had found a story like ours back then. Like, it would have given me so much hope. And if even just one woman or man can find freedom or hope, or, a light at the end of the tunnel through our story, then everything that we've walked through so publicly will have been worth it.
All right, well, thank you for sharing your story. It's quite brave of you to come in. And as I say, Sam, you have learnt the hard way. And, good luck with everything.
Best of luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck with the book.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. Before that, we are joined by two incredible teenagers. Freddie Corbett and Harley Hollingsworth have been held heroes after they bravely risked their own lives on last Saturday, to save a suicidal man.
Yeah, and they're joining us now in the studio with Freddie's dad, Billy, to share their incredible story.
Hey, guys.
Thank you for coming in. I mean, Freddie, Harley, your lives changed literally 10:30 on Saturday night. Freddie, can you take us back and explain what happened that night to us?
Well, me and my mate Harley were on his way home, catching last train home, and we saw a man sleeping in a sleeping bag. It didn't look like he were all right, and I heard a train coming, and he wandered over to the tracks, and he got on the tracks. So I walked over and I said to him, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm killing myself tonight." So I jumped on tracks, he pushed past me, started walking towards the train, and I said, "No, you're not doing that, mate." And I picked him up and I chucked him onto the side, got Harley to come over. We dragged him over to the shelter, pinned him down for about an hour until help came and spoke to him about what's been going off.
This is it, because it's one thing to help someone, but you physically had to restrain this guy, right?
I know.
So when he pushed past you, what were you thinking?
I was just like, I can't let him die. Like, I'm putting myself at risk, but like, it's not just him, and it's not just me. It was train driver, everyone on train and everything. People can be traumatised, and it just ruins people's lives. And obviously, everyone deserves a second chance at life.
And Freddie, were you when you and Harley were just sort of sat on the station? Pretty much, you're the only three people around the platform, right?
There were me and Harley, and then there were two young lasses, and I think they spoke to the train driver after.
Yeah.
He stopped, obviously, and he said thank you for obviously what we did. But
so did you clock quite early that this guy was going to do something to endanger his own life?
It definitely looked like he were in a bad state, so I was kind of thinking about it, but then I saw him wander over to the tracks and I thought, no, don't do nothing, don't do no daft. And then he did it.
Amazing awareness.
My heart dropped.
Yeah, I bet.
And when Freddie went down onto the tracks to get him off Harley, you know, he initially didn't want your help, did he? But did you then have to go in and help him onto the tracks, Harley?
Yeah, I eventually got on tracks with him, but I didn't even know where he'd gone at first. I was too busy on my phone, and then I looked up, and he was already on tracks.
On his phone. Harley, how can you be that distracted when your mate's down on the track? Freddie, when you were... I mean, you know, we've all seen this play out in movies so many times in some way, shape or form. Is it like it is in the films? Are you seeing that train come towards you?
You just... You don't think. It's just natural instinct. You've just got to do it. Can't think. You've just got to do it.
Yeah.
Just got to help him.
And Billy, what did you think then? Because, you know, this train, I mean, even though you two are heroes, it was 45 seconds away. I mean, this train really could have hit you. So when you come back and find out what had happened, what was your initial reaction?
Well, we didn't go to sleep that night very well. But when my wife once at door, we'd been trying to get in touch with Freddie, but his phone had died. So when my wife answered the door, it was a man in an orange boiler suit, which one at Network Rail guys. They'd brought our Freddie back in Harley. Then when they explained it to us, we were just shocked. Instant, like, fear. I'm thinking, what were you doing? Why? But then, as the night progressed, and then when we woke up in the morning, like I said, I think Gary, he posted something on social media, and it just started sinking in then what they'd actually done. And it was just like, I just can't get over it. And it just keep getting prouder and prouder and prouder.
Right, because you've got these two feelings to reconcile as a parent.
Yeah.
One, I can't believe you put your life at risk. This is your everything, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
And then the second time, like those values and morals that you and your wife and your family have instilled in you, and they're playing out. You must be so, I mean, I feel crying now.
Yeah.
You must be so proud of it.
Yeah, there's been plenty of tears.
So Gary was the one who knocked on your door, and Gary was the reason why you two have gone viral, because he said he got called out tonight to a male with intent to self-harm on the railway, and these two lads were his angels. As kids get a bad press with humanity, and like these, the lads have shown tonight. We are in safe hands. I can't speak highly enough about them. If you see them, buy them a J2O, because they're not quite old enough to have a pint yet. Like, you know, you've gone viral for being heroes. How do you feel about that? It's a big title, isn't it?
It's crackers.
It don't feel real at all.
It don't. I still feel like I'm dreaming. Feel like I woke up from Saturday night.
Do you feel like heroes?
Well, for me, when it first happened, I didn't think it was as big as what other people thought it was. I just thought it was just another day. I'd do it again in an heartbeat, every single time.
And you stayed with him for an hour as well, right?
Yeah.
After that initial period where you stopped him from killing himself, was there? How was the interaction then? Were you able to talk to him and kind of calm him down?
Yeah, I were in bits, me. Tears were falling down my face, but
your adrenaline must have been pumping as well.
Oh, not half. I saw a train come by like literally seconds later, and it was just. I thought I was so lucky, but I was so happy that I saved him. But well, me and Ali saved him. But
have you heard from him at all, or have you spoke to the man you saved?
I hadn't spoke to him, but one of my mum's mates, I believe she works in Rotherham Mental Health Hospital, and I think he's there, so I think he's getting help.
He's getting support, yeah.
Getting a good bit of support there.
And this situation has made you, and I imagine you as well, reflect on male mental health in general.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's a big thing. I mean,
it's so unspoken.
I don't talk about a lot of my feelings, and I know, like, it is difficult sometimes. You want to, but you just feel like you can't. You feel a bit ashamed.
So you've seen somebody, you know, you've saved somebody at their darkest hour. Like, has it changed the way you think about mental health? Like, what are your views on it now?
Well, it just makes me think that you don't know what other people are going through. You should always ask. You should always check up on people. You should always check up on your mates. Even people you don't know if you think that they're going through stuff.
Especially men as well, you know, they seem to chat less than women, don't they? And Harley, what are your views on mental health? Because you've rescued this man from probably the darkest period you'll ever see somebody in.
I just think men need to speak out more, and that it's all right not to be all right.
Yeah.
And that you need to just talk to people, talk to others.
And has it changed you as a family?
I think, it's like at minute, if he don't tidy his bedroom, I feel like I can't shout at him or tell him off. So it's like...
Ready, you just bought yourself a free pass.
I know, he's got that many free passes at minute. I'm like, I don't know what to say to him. And so
Well, it's all right.
Yeah.
I've got him a couple of days out in London, so it's all right.
Yeah, nice. And sort of Billy, you must be very proud, obviously, because
absolutely.
And we see it so many times on this show. Your generation are kind of demonised as, and just seeing you two, and I'm sure there are, there's obviously countless other kids like you up and down the country.
That's it, yeah. It's, I mean, like I said, Freddie and Ali, they're both really alike each other, do you know what I mean? Talking to Dale, Ali's dad, a lot ever since this, and they're like two peas in a pod. Everything that he talks about Ali is what Freddie does as well. But then, regards to other people's personas on lads, they can be just taken out of context because of maybe what they wear or where they knock about or what they do, and it's just unfair. And it's like, even at school, we'll get a text message saying, Freddie's this or Freddie's that, and I'm like, well, no, to be fair, look at that post, that's my son, that's Freddie, that's what he's about. You know what I mean?
Lovely.
Great character.
Now, you might think that these guys have had their fill of adrenaline.
Yeah, but we have spoken to our friends at Alton Towers for you because we found out that you are both adrenaline junkies and they'd like to reward your bravery with the ultimate VIP experience. I've had one of these VIP experiences. They're incredible. You don't have to queue. They're including tickets, express parkets, platinum fast tracks for all the rides, a VIP host for the day, unlimited drinks, meal vouchers and a VIP merchandise and unlimited rides. And photos.
Boom.
There we go. There we go. So that's, have a lovely day at Alton Towers.
Freddie's like, give me another week, man, I'm done. I just need to
Give me a break.
Well done, guys.
Well done,
Lovely to
you
meet you.
two.
Great to meet you
thanks
too.
for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And you, Bill, thanks so much.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. Before the competition, we were discussing the idea of marrying yourself, and guess what? Our next guest has done exactly that.
Yeah, Rebecca Holbury spent her whole life looking forward to her wedding day. But when men kept failing her to ask her to get married, she took matters into her own hands, and she joins us now to explain more. Good morning, Rebecca.
Morning, Rebecca.
Thank you. You look absolutely stunning, by the way.
Thanks
that
for having
dress
me.
is gorgeous.
Where did this start? I always wanted to get married.
Yeah, I did.
You're married.
Yeah.
Congratulations. End of.
Had the day.
So were you in a long-term relationship that just didn't work out, or what?
Yeah, well, 11 years.
Yeah,
and I'd given him an ultimatum. I really wanted to get married, and he didn't. So
just dilly-dallied.
Yeah, and after a little while, sort of limped along for another year, and then eventually sort of.
Are you one of these people that have been planning your wedding day from when you were like a little girl?
Absolutely. So while we were together, after about 6 or 7 years, I thought it was pretty much on the cards. All of our friends got married in sort of a 12-month period. And I had a Pinterest board, I had spreadsheets, kind of organised everything I needed to buy, make, do, and I designed the dress.
You designed this yourself?
I did, yeah, I drew it. I just sort of drew loads of little different sketches and kind of, I really wanted a shorter dress. And I wanted a blue underhem and the Vivienne Westwood shoes. So I kind of had it all planned out, yeah.
So you had it all planned out, you've designed the dress, like, you know, nothing was stopping you, not even not finding a partner.
Exactly. And I just, after a while...
Do you think the fact that you've married yourself now might put, like, men off in future because they might think you're already married?
I don't know, maybe. I don't really care.
I love the idea of their first date, though. So tell us about your dating history. Well, I am married to me. But, you know, anyone worth their salt's going to take that on board, aren't they?
I didn't have, like, an officiator or a celebrant or anything like that. So it's not legally binding.
Okay.
Loads of people get married twice.
You don't have to divorce yourself to get married. Fine, it's going to be fine.
Right, tell us about the big day.
Yeah.
How did it happen? How did you marry yourself?
So I spent all day getting ready because it didn't start until sort of 6. So all my guests arrived in the evening and they knew that they would have to, just like a traditional wedding, they would kind of get to the church and wait for the bride to arrive. So everyone else was there and then I made my big entrance at 7 and I just sort of like burst into the room. I couldn't believe it. All of my nerves just like vanished and disappeared. Everybody was in such good spirits. Everyone was cheering, clapping, laughing. And I did a short address. I did a little quick speech at the beginning just to kind of explain why we're all there and what was to be expected. Because people don't know how to behave at a... They know what the rules are, the social conventions at a wedding.
Yes.
But a fake wedding...
Yes.
less so.
Yes.
So it kind of set the tone for the evening, and then it was just the party was in full swing.
Did you get into the part? Did you not see yourself before you put your dress on and then put your dress on?
I did try to really hide from people as they were coming in. So my brother-in-law was my best man, and he had the job of making sure that everyone was kind of in their seats and seated and ready for me to come in.
And how did your friends and family react when you told them, look, I want my wedding, I'm gonna marry myself?
Yeah, I don't think anyone was that surprised. Like, it's very on brand, and I am pretty extra generally. So I think people were just like, well, she did want to, like, she has been planning this wedding, really wanted to get married for a long time. Why should that be at the mercy of waiting for a man to ask you? Just do it yourself.
I think there's a business up here for you, you know.
Loads of people do it. It's definitely a thing, Dave.
Now you've planned your own wedding. You should just plan other people's single weddings. Yeah. All the single weddings.
How much did it set you back, if you don't mind me asking?
I think about 8,000. Somebody else asked me to add it up, and I hadn't done.
Jess, are you asking for a friend?
Well, I'm with you on this, Rebecca, because, and you know, I actually married my best friend at a festival, it was like the closest thing I'll probably ever have to a wedding, so there we are. It was amazing. And, you know, everybody was chucking flowers at us. We invited the whole festival.
Hang on, you weren't the celebrant?
No, I married my best friend Mia at a wedding. And
you married to Mia then?
Yeah, we even invited the litter pickers, and then everybody turned up, because the night before I'd invited everybody. And I thought, God, that it might be the closest thing I ever have to a wedding. It felt absolutely spectacular. There we are.
So you still married to Mia?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So when Mia came on, it was like, oh, he's Josie's friend. She's like, I'm a celeb. What we should have said was, he's Josie's wife.
Yeah, basically.
That would have been amazing. Oh, congratulations. I didn't know. Congratulations. Lovely news.
Thank you, Dora. Yeah, so congratulations to you. But it is lovely to experience that day, isn't it? And all eyes on you. And it's like your magic moment, like your special moment.
Exactly. I just wanted what everyone else gets, which is a day to feel your best, wear a big white dress, have all the photos and all the people around you that you love, and celebrate. Doesn't have to be celebrating a relationship, can be celebrate everything you've been through.
Here's a question. If you get married to another human, will it be a different dress? Or because it's hard to top that.
Don't know. See, get cost per wear out of it.
Exactly.
I might wear it again.
Yeah, why not?
And do you still hope for a wedding to a partner?
I wouldn't rule it out. I think I kind of regard it as the same as winning the lottery. Like, it would be great to win the lottery. Who wouldn't want that? But I just also think it's probably as unlikely. Like, I hardly ever fancy anyone. I'm really fussy. I'm really picky. And even if I did, the chances that he also likes me, like, I don't want children and I can't fly for health reasons, so that rules out a lot of people.
Right. Domestic market, I like your style.
Yeah, so, you know, I was going to wait forever, or I was going to do it myself for my 40th.
Well, listen, we want you to share with us the speech that you made on your wedding day. So when you're ready, if you please make your way up the aisle. Thank you very much.
Oh, this is exciting. Yeah, right?
Oh. Wonderful. So nice. Look, friends and family with you there.
So at the age of 40, I decided to throw myself a solo wedding. Now, I know some people will think this whole thing is preposterous, but so is expecting to find an age-appropriate, attractive, single, straight man who doesn't have a child or a dog or a burning need for air travel. So when I think of it that way, this seems much more reasonable. So after navigating a couple of failed relationships, I have emerged victorious, and I can honestly say I'm happier single than I've ever been in any relationship before. So my solo wedding is a declaration that I have found the most incredible companions in life, in all the people that celebrated with me. So here's to loving yourself, your life, your independence, and a lifetime of freedom, friends, and peace. And here's a toast to singledom.
Oh, that was lovely.
I've got some wedding favours. I had some wedding favours left over.
Thank you so much.
You can put them straight in the bin, but these were my wedding favours.
Because you had a Glastonbury themed wedding, didn't you?
You chuck the bouquet, should we turn around?
Oh, yeah, chuck the bouquet, chuck the bouquet.
Jose.
Thank you. Yeah, I just don't want to get married at all.
If it touches the ground, does it count, though, Jose? You were desperate for that.
There we go. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. That was beautiful.
So nice that your nearest and dearest are here to...
Thank you to all our guests as well.
Thank you so much for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every single day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the morning. It just broke me. What a moment.
It almost breaks me just watching it. I mean, the feeling in the chamber was just incredible, and the entire public gallery stood and clapped and cheered as well. It was amazing. I thought it was going to be my slow return to Parliament over the next few months.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it's turned out to be my last hurrah. But never mind.
Well, let's take us back. What was life like before all of this? I mean, I've got family down in Broadstairs, so, I know you from down there, and you've got, it's a wonderful constituency. You've got a great life.
We were having a great life, yes. I loved my job. Cotty is a community pharmacist. She was working from time to time. We've got a most gorgeous daughter. Yeah, one of those lives that you say, yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. Enjoying life, just doing all those things that families enjoy.
Yeah.
Day to day, not realising what was around the corner.
Idyllic. And in September, I mean, your life got turned upside down. Craig, can you just talk us through what happened? Because you weren't quite feeling well, but you didn't actually feel like you needed to go to hospital at the time, did you?
No, not at all. I mean, I was at work on the 27th of September, normal day, feeling a little bit unwell, but, just like you do. Don't think much of it. We were due to go on holiday the next day, so I came home from work, went to bed a bit earlier than I would normally because it was one of those early morning flights, and felt okay, and was violently sick during the night. But even then, I thought, well, who knows? Could be a bit of anything. We all get that from time to time. Didn't think anything more of it, and it was Cotty really in the early morning. I just recognised that I was as white as a sheet. I was doing tests for blood pressure and all that. That was all fine. But was white as a sheet, and couldn't feel a pulse in my arms.
Well, Cotty, you say he's never unwell, so you knew something was wrong, didn't you?
Exactly, yes. Craig wanting to go to bed is not something Craig usually does. Even when in the past he had flu, he had just a common cold. And the night before, an evening before, he wanted to go to bed and he fell asleep, obviously after taking the obvious what we all would do, paracetamol or ibuprofen. And I kept checking on his temperature because he should be either too low, too high, but it was just absolutely perfect. And we woke him up about 8:30 when Olivia was ready to settle in bed, just to say night-night. And by then I saw that again, he's just really not perking up here. And he just wanted to sleep, which is again not Craig.
Right.
And later on during the night, he was sick, but he was able to walk unaidedly. And once he was sick, he felt better. And then in the morning, when second time he vomited, I just looked at him and he just really didn't look well. And that's when I knew that it's time to call.
And Katie genuinely saved your life, didn't she?
Oh, without doubt. Yeah, without doubt. I mean, I was doing, I suppose, what men... We're not very good with colds, are we? But I was doing that. Oh, I'll be all right. No, I'm fine.
You probably did think you'd be all right then.
Well, you would. I mean, it's just one of those things. You're often sick or eating something a bit strange or, got a bit of gastric flu or something. Nothing unusual. Certainly didn't think it would end up like this.
So how did it escalate so quickly? Like, what happened?
Well, I don't know. Usually you get a few days with sepsis. You get a few days where you're feeling increasingly unwell, and that's actually going to be part of my campaign to make sure that people do recognise that this might be coming on. But for me, it was just too quick, too deep and too fast. And after going to hospital, I think I hit what you call the Goldilocks zone. If I'd gone earlier, I think they'd have said, you're not really unwell enough to be here.
Sent you home, kind of thing.
Would have gone home. And if I'd gone later, well, I probably wouldn't have gone later. I think I'd have been dead.
Yeah.
So I hit the Goldilocks zone where I arrived at the hospital, and within, I think, about half an hour, I turned a very strange blue. I'm trying to think of it. It's like blue like your trousers almost. Ears, everything. And they recognised this is a septic shock that I was going into, and then taken to recovery, put into sedation, coma, and then Cotty would remember the rest. I'm out for the next 16 days, kidneys packed up, liver failing, the classic going downhill possibly towards death.
Scotty, you must be making...
Yeah.
reconciling that in your head, like,
Yes,
he's not
and-
going to make this.
And it's always hard to talk about it and live through
course.
again those first 48 hours. So we got to hospital just after 9 o'clock, and by 1:30, Craig had to be intubated, so put on ventilator. And by 4:30, the kidneys packed up, then the liver the next, and then as it went on, and so he had multiple. We were told he had multiple failure, and I remember the doctor that evening emphasized it many times that he hasn't come across many of this seriously ill patients, and at that time, Craig was the most seriously ill patient. Now, within a day or two, we were told that just get prepared for the worst. Sepsis is apparently 7 to 10 days. It's the rocky period. Yeah. And I remember them saying that it gets better before it gets worse. And that's exactly what was going on. By the 5th day, Craig had a good improvement on his blood test result. But then within a day, again, he dropped his blood clotting again became a mess. He had to be given platelets, so bags of platelets, and it was still, so literally Craig wasn't in a position to be transported to any other hospital at the time, because he could have been bled to death, even just the rockiness of the road or the journey. And so it was extremely hard. But once he was showing sign of, even though he was sedated for 16 days on and off, actually after 7-8 days, they started to reduce the sedation. He was making movements with his eyebrows, his facial muscles started to move, and he heard voices or certain music, or I was playing radio, audio books. So, and he was communicating. That was wonderful.
So
by
after
then,
16 days, I could not imagine what those 16 days would have ever been like for you. And then, he's woken up. But then when did you realise that, amputation was on the cards?
That was probably 8 to 10 days into Craig's illness, we were told. And we saw the discoloration on his toes and fingers, but really the finer digits rather than a thumb. But interestingly, both thumbs were very quickly showing that they weren't getting the good enough blood supply there. And but we were very hopeful. We thought the body is fantastic. It can find other
It's extraordinary,
runways.
isn't it? How durable the body is.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, it is really, yeah.
But obviously, it did do a lot of good work, but not good enough to save.
I mean, I don't remember anything till I woke up in St Thomas's sort of 16 days later, and I think Cotty was trying to not give me my glasses, so I couldn't see the state of my hands and feet. But when I did, I could see that they were failing badly. They were black, and I mean the most odd plastic. It's like hitting a plastic, like a mobile phone case. It was really strange, and they started to look like Pharaoh's hands. They just dug them out of the desert. They were looking drier, desiccated, clawed, and I knew these were gone.
You seem so resilient to this whole thing. There's not an ounce of self-pity.
Well, I suppose do you know what kept me going at times? When I didn't know anything about the 7th of October goings-on in Gaza, and I was away with the fairies at that time. But when you did read bad stories about dreadful human suffering, it made me, fun enough, feel better. Because I thought, well, actually, I'm not so bad. I'm still alive. OK, I might lose a few bits, but I've still got a life and a family. So, funny enough, the worse the news I was reading, the better I was feeling, which was a strange place to be.
You've got a totally different outlook on life now, with everything you've been through. And, Craig, it is so amazing to see you so positive. I mean, you're even in the House of Parliament cracking jokes. It was just incredible to see. What's next for you?
Well, that's a very big question, really. I mean, sort of jolted into making a decision last week. I was hoping that was going to be a start back to Parliament, and we'll see where we got to in October, November, when everybody expected the election to be. Perhaps I was kidding myself that I'd have been ready for it, but at least I had a few more months to mull it over, more rehab, get used to the prosthetics. I've only had this a week. But I had to make a decision. It's only fair for my constituents, fair for my association, and I think fair on the family, really, because elections are hard work. They really are full-on hard work. And obviously, it's going to be a tougher election. Not like 2019, but and actually being an MP is tough. People often think...
How many working hours? 80?
Oh, 80 hours, yeah. I mean, it's not all sitting on the terrace drinking champagne. I don't remember when I did that last.
Yeah.
It is a lot of hours, and then you've got work in the constituency and everything else. A lot of time, and it's quite strange. I've seen more of my daughter over the last 4 months than I have over the last 4 years. And things like that
blessings, I guess,
puts things into perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we get some pretty incredible people on this sofa, but your outlook, I mean, this only happened, you got struck down in September, and your outlook on life after everything you've been through is absolutely marvellous.
Well, I suppose it would be very easy to sort of disappear into a pit of despair, but you think, well, what's the point in that? Number one, I'm alive.
Yeah.
And number two, you mustn't dwell on what you can't do. You need to rejoice in what you can do. And every day you find you can do something different. I mean, I've got my bionic arm on here, and I'm getting used to that one. The other one is a bit of a work in progress. So I've got my NHS arm on today. Would you believe that's what they provide you? But that's another story. But I found I could open a car door and put the seatbelt in. And you think, that's a little step forward. So every day there's a few little steps forward. And, that's something to rejoice in. Then I wake up with this lovely woman and my lovely child every morning.
So lovely.
So that's it. It's all worthwhile.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. Yeah, thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out, and we'll see you in the morning.